So before we get into solving quadratic equations from factors, we need to just review a few things. One-step and two-step equations. So in problem number 1, x plus 3 equals 5. So we're going to subtract 3 from both sides. So 5 minus 3 gives us 2. Here we subtract 3 from both sides. So x equals negative 3. Here we're going to add 4 to both sides. So we have x equals 0 plus 4 is 4. Here, this is multiplication, so the inverse of multiplication is division. So we're going to divide both sides by 5. So 0 divided by 5 is 0. This is a two-step, so we're going to subtract 3 from both sides. So we have 2x equals 6, and then divide both sides by 2. So 6 divided by 2 is 3. Here we subtract 3 from both sides. So 2x equals negative 3, and then divided by 2. So x equals negative 3 halves. Number 7, we're going to add 2 to both sides. So we have 5x equals 2. Divide both sides by 5. And so x is going to be equal to 2/5. All right, so one reason why we did that is because we're going to solve quadratic equations from their factors. When we solve it, that means we are finding the x value. The x value is going to be an intercept right here. It will be the intercept of a parabola. So it's when y is equal to 0, also called zeros of the function. We want to solve the equation, which means to let y be equal to 0. So if you have an equation of y is equal to x squared plus 2x minus 8, you're going to let y be 0. So what we're going to do here is we have to solve each factor. So what value could x be so that the problem is equal to 0? So right here, I took x squared plus 2x minus 8, and I factored it into two binomials. So remember, when you have a minus in front of the last term, the signs are going to be different. So there's your plus, there's your minus, and we need factors of 8 to give us a difference of 2. And this should be a positive 2, or it is a positive 2, which means your larger factor needs to be positive. So x plus 4 times the quantity x minus 2 is these are the factors of the trinomial x squared plus 2x minus 8. Now then, what you're going to do to find the x-intercepts is you're going to set each factor. The x plus 4 is a factor. You're going to set it equal to 0. So this is one reason why we were practicing solving one-step and two-step equations for the warm-up. So x equals negative 4, and then the other factor is x minus 2 equals 0, so we're going to add 2 to both sides. So 0 plus 2 is 2. So the solutions are negative 4 and 2. So if you actually take this equation and put it into your calculator and graph it, when you see the parabola, it will cross through the x-axis at negative 4 and positive 2. But of course, we're going to show you by hand how you can find those intercepts. So let's take a look at problem 9. 9, I've already given you the two factors. So we have 2x minus 3, and all we do is we set each parenthesis equal to 0. So you have 2x equals negative 3, divide by 2. So there x is equal to negative 3 over 2. And then you add 3 to both sides here. So 5x is equal to 3. And then divide both sides by 5. So you have a fraction negative 3 over 2. And you have a fraction of 3/5. You could also write these as decimals if you wanted to. So this would be a negative 1.5, and then this would be 0.6. Especially if you had to plot the points on a coordinate plane, you would definitely want to use a decimal. All right, let's take a look at problem 10. So we have 5x times the quantity x plus 1 equals 0. All you're going to do is set each factor equal to 0. So 5x equals 0, we divide both sides by 5. And 0 divided by 5 is 0. X plus 1 equals 0, minus 1, minus 1. So x is equal to negative 1. So your two solutions are 0 and negative 1. Number 11, what makes x equal 0? Well, that's 0. And what makes 4x minus 2 equals 0? So this is going to be a two-step equation. We add 2 to both sides. We have 4x equals 2 divided by 4. And 2 divided by 4 is 1/2 or 0.5. All right, so let's take a look at what we have here. So it says practice solving for x. So all you're going to do is just what we've been doing. Add 2 to both sides, so x equals 2. And then subtract 4 from both sides here. So x equals negative 4. Number 13, 4x equals 0. So you divide both sides by 4. So x is equal to 0. And then I'm just dividing the two factors in half so you can see my work. Subtract 3. So 2x equals negative 3 divided by 2. So that would be a negative 0.6 repeating. Number 14. All this is just 1 and 2 step equations. That's all this is. So 3x equals negative 1. Divide both sides by 3. So that would be a negative 0.3 repeating. And then you have 2x. And just as a little shortcut, if you want to go ahead and do this, go ahead and move this 5 over. So 2x equals negative 5. Divide both sides by 2. So x is going to be equal to negative 2.5. All right, and then 15 and 16 are just reviews. That's all that is. It says solve the system of equations, use substitution and elimination. So the reason on number 15 I'm going to use substitution because you already have an isolated variable. So I'm going to take 4x plus 16 and I'm going to put it in place of y right there. So I don't know if I have enough room right here. So we're going to have 5x minus 7, and then in parentheses you put 4x plus 16. And then you set that equal to 3. So then we have 5x. Negative 7 is your distributor. So this will be a negative 28x. And then negative 7 times 16. Let's see, 4114 equals 3. And then 5x minus 28x, that'll be negative 23x minus 114 equals 3. Then we're going to add 114 to both sides. So this will be a negative 23x equals 117. And then we divide both sides by negative 23. And let's see, so x will be equal to 4. Let's see. All right, I found my mistake. This should be 112 right there. 112 or 112. 112. So then this would be 115. So 115 divided by negative 23 is going to give us negative 5 for x. All right, and then you're going to put negative 5 in place of x. So I'm going to go and put that right there. So y equals 4 times negative 5 plus 16. So this will be negative 20 plus 16, which is negative 4. And then I'm just going to check it. Let's see. 5 times negative 5 is negative 25. And then negative 7 times negative 4 is positive 28. So negative 25 plus 28 is 3. So that checks out. Okay, number 16. I would probably use the elimination method. I would probably eliminate the y's. So if I did that, I would only need to change the top equation. So this right here will be 6x plus 2y equals 20. The bottom equation will stay the same. 5x minus 2y equals 13. Let's make sure that is a 20. All right, so the y's will cancel, so I have 11x equals 33. Divide both sides by 11, and x is equal to 3. And then you can just put 3 in place of, I think I'm going to use that top equation. So let's go ahead and change colors. So I'm going to use this top original equation here. So it's going to be 3 times my x, which is 3, plus y equals 10. So this is 9 plus y equals 10. Subtract 9 from both sides, and y is equal to 1. So there's your 3 and 1. So I can check it. I'm going to check it in this equation. So 5 times 3 is 15. Minus 2 times 1 is 2. So that does give me 13. So that checks out okay. All right. I hope you understood everything. Bye-bye.